Good morning and welcome in to this edition of Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham and Neal McCready. He is in the Clark Ford studio. We'll tell you about Clark Ford here in a second. Governor's Cup on tap tonight. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, their annual midweek game that is at Trustmark Park in Pearl, now home of the Mississippi Mud Monsters, maybe something like that. Either way,
You
independent team. Do what?
really?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Well, the Braves are in Columbus, Georgia now for Double A.
Well, I knew the Braves had bolted, but I didn't realize that they'd brought a team in and then called it the Mud Monsters.
Maybe that's not it. Hold on, it's Mississippi Mud something. Yeah, monsters. Yeah.
What is a mud monster?
It's a catfish.
Then why not just call them the Catfish?
I don't know, Neil. I can send you a logo if you would like. I have it right here.
Sure, I'd love to see the logo.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll send you the logo. Nonetheless, they are playing tonight in Pearl. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, 6 o'clock start for that one. It is streamed SEC Network Plus. I know that's always up in the air a little bit there for Trustmark Park, but it will be streamed here this evening. Rebels and Bulldogs. Ole Miss coming off its 2 out of 3 weekend setback to South Carolina, and that loss to Little Rock last week before Vandy comes in this weekend. Also, we got news that Ole Miss headed to Madison Square Garden for basketball December 6th against St. John's and Rick Pitino. We'll talk about that a little bit today and whatever else suits us as the show moves on. A show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well. They will take care of you if there's a Sweet Daddy's location there with catering, lunch specials, and plenty more. Remember, catering, no matter how big your group is, if it's just feeding maybe your family, extended family, as well as a much larger thing, maybe you're feeding your office. Either way, ribs, pulled pork, side items, and plenty more. And again, Neil's in the Clark Ford studio.
I am Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you are looking for, and he'll take care of you. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line, no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. Don't forget, you've got 8 days of employee pricing still remaining at Ford. So the whole month of April, you get employee pricing on Ford vehicles. So don't forget to take advantage of that while you still have time to do so. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or to call 901-759-3111.
Yeah, there already is a Carolina Mudcats. That's the single A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. People were mentioning Mudcats for that. Also, I'm assuming copyright is taken on the Mississippi Mudcats because being from North Mississippi, I'm aware that the Mississippi Mudcats is a former minor league arena football team that was in Tupelo for a couple seasons back in the day. They were actually pretty good. But that folded up around, I don't know, 2010, something like that. But I bet some copyright stuff still hanging out there on the Mississippi Mudcats. So they are the Mud Monsters in Pearl, Mississippi.
You know, copyrights,
Rules, whatever.
You know, there's stuff. You know,
possession is 9/10 of the law. So really, I mean, who's going to stop you once you do it, right? And something like that.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you asked that. Sometimes
Jeffrey
it's just a
asking,
word.
sure, go ahead.
Sometimes it's just a word, like the word "the." You know.
Jeffrey asking in the thread, does the Governor's Cup still count as an SEC game? I wrote about that a little this morning. You can see that at rebelgrove.com, and the answer is if the committee wants it to. It is on the sheet when they get their sheets. It has all your records in SEC games, period, not just conference records. So for Ole Miss, that will include a 10-0 loss to Texas in Arlington back on February the 15th. And it will also include this game as well. But what it does actually is gives the selection committee flexibility to make it count or not count, depending on what they are trying to fit as far as a peg and a hole. together there. It seems that in the past, it hurts you if you lose it more than it helps you if you win it. It has been used as justification, more as a reason for a positive that happens with you. But if I'm Ole Miss, and I made this post on the board a minute ago, it's not moving the goalpost, but they're 10-8 in the SEC, and they have a 22 RPI. So the only logical conversation right now is not about making the field. They're in very, very, very good shape from a making the field standpoint. It's whether or not they can host. And that conversation revolves around getting to at least 16 wins and having an RPI probably in like the top 14. I don't think 16 is enough because you've always got a couple outliers that are going to host from the West Coast or something that's maybe outside that top 16. So I wouldn't feel safe unless you're in the 14 spot or so. They are 22 currently after a disastrous week. They filled 10 spots over the course of the last week in RPI. But so I think this game tonight matters is my point. I don't think you want to go 16-14, need a little help, and have a loss in a Governor's Cup game and a loss to Texas and Arlington to start the year where you went 0-2 in neutral sites. So I think this is one of those where you probably need to win it and just, I think I said in the story, be better safe than sorry at some point, because so this feels relevant to Ole Miss tonight as Cade Townsend takes the mound against the Bulldogs that are not very good. They are 6-12 in the SEC, but they do have a 44 RPI. So that's a top 50 neutral site game for Ole Miss tonight against Mississippi State. So that's kind of where I'm sitting on that as we move forward. Tupelo Rev, y'all see Gerard Gibbert was invited to be on Radio Row today in DC. Yeah, I heard him talking about it with Richard Cross on his morning show yesterday morning. By the way, on MPW Digital, I am talking to Richard about his switch to news this morning around 10. I'll post that podcast either later today or in the morning. But yeah, Gerard was on with him yesterday. He said that he was on air and got a call or a text from somebody in the Trump administration. They are inviting a lot of, I don't remember the term he used, but essentially what they said was media members or radio people who represent the country, not just simply legacy media or from certain demographics or areas of the country, to participate in a event today. I think maybe in the Eisenhower or something. I forget whatever, if that was the room or the building or something they are in. And they are going to have a bunch of different secretaries available to him throughout the day for interviews and content. So yeah, that's what you're referring there. I don't know any more information than that, but that was what he conveyed to the listeners while he was talking to Richard yesterday morning on his show. So yes, I do know a little bit about that. I know I know the turnaround was more. It was interesting to me, and probably would be interesting to Neil, just from a straight logistical standpoint of being in media, is they didn't find out for sure until it's like Thursday afternoon, and they had to get to DC, get set up, get your engineers and all, get all the travel plans, and be ready to go this morning. So pretty quick turnaround there from first word to execution.
Yeah, that would be a hectic weekend.
Mm-hmm. And it was Good Friday and Easter.
And I assume they're taking video and things of that nature. I don't know if they're strictly radio or if they have a video element or what.
Yeah, they do supertalkfm.com/watch. They have a stream for most of their shows throughout the day. So
there you go.
Yes, that is true. So anyway, yeah, but that's where that's at. Gerard does 10 to 12 every day, I think, on Super Talk Mississippi is his time slot. So I guess nothing really else from a baseball standpoint. Cade Townsend throwing tonight for Ole Miss, as I mentioned. He was great against Alcorn State, and I mean, all jokes aside, I know Ole Miss won that game 29-1, but he threw strikes, and that is simply where he is sitting right now. That is the problem, or that is the positive. He has great stuff. He was a top 100 prospect out of high school, and he has all the ability in the world. He is a sophomore draft eligible guy, so this season means something to him because he goes into his draft year next year. And they have been able to find a role for him. So it's a big opportunity for Cade tonight against the Bulldogs in a game that matters there in the Jackson area. Last week, he was the starting pitcher in the Kids Day game against Little Rock, and he was pretty good for 3 of his 4 innings, but in that other inning, gave up 3 runs. And that's something that has plagued the Ole Miss team, is the inability to get off the field when they start having a bit of a bad inning. And that hit Cade last week. So throwing strikes, just the ultimate thing for him tonight, because he can be very successful when that is the case. But it's a bit of a work in progress for him. So there's that.
I'm fascinated to see whether they shake up the pitching staff for the weekend. Though I thought about it a little bit yesterday, just after we did the show. Like, what would I do? And it's not the easy answer that people think it is. I mean, I think I would shake it up, but you do
It's
run
not
the
a 100-0 here at all.
no, you do run the risk of screwing with things, and you don't have a lot of time. I mean, you got to fix it, but you can break it trying to fix it.
There's no surefire bridge once you just switch to Morris. So you switch if you believe one of two things. You believe Morris is going to give you more than 5 innings, frankly. It has to be more than
Yep.
5. You have to expect 6 or more from Morris to switch, I
Yep.
think. You also have to expect him to not give up at least 4 runs because Hunter was giving you that, and you had the bridge still remaining with Morris at that point. You have to have a clear, definitive positive from Morris starting. Now, maybe the definitive too is that Hunter would switch to Saturday and then give you a bigger advantage on Saturday and do more. Maybe that's the case. Or it's possible that Mike goes, no, Mason's going to start on Saturday. He's never really been a weekend starter. We're not going to give him the Friday pressure. We're still going to start Hunter on Friday, and then we're going to go to Mason on Saturday. And if that's the case, and again, it's all hypothetical, and maybe they announce it in 10 minutes, and none of this is even relevant, is then who are the two bridges? You got McCausland, or you using Braden Jones earlier in the game? What are you doing? I mean, you're trying to put a puzzle together that is not simple. This is not one of those little preschool put the star in the circle in the box things. This is at least 1,000-piece puzzle that we're trying to get the outline done in the corners and then try to fill that bad boy in the middle. It's not an easy decision despite the fans' emotions and frustrations right now.
No, it's not at all. And you also have to think about, as of today, if you just keep moving at this pace, and I know the goal is to host, but they haven't been to the tournament in the last 2 years. The goal is to get to the tournament. And you're in position to get to the tournament. If you did something that was chaotic and it caused you to go on a losing streak that it jeopardized your ability to make the tournament, you would regret that move. On the flip side, if you think this is the move that maximizes your roster, you're almost obligated to make it. Risk be damned. But I could also see how you could get to paralysis by analysis here. Because the goal ultimately is to make the tournament, get into a regional, and win a regional. Right? That's the goal. So that you get to a super regional and have an opportunity to win a super regional. So you have to evaluate internally where you think you are from a pitching standpoint. And, it's the one thing I don't like. I don't mind when fans do it. Sometimes media does it, and I'm like, you don't know the answer to that. Like, you don't. They do have more data at their fingertips than we in the media do. They know more about maybe limitations and what these people do, and maybe more about mindset and who's best wired to do things a certain way than we do. And so sometimes when media comes out and goes, this is the way, it's like, okay, you probably should couch that differently because you don't know unless somehow you know.
Thread saying no meaningful innings for Braden Jones. I don't think Ole Miss can host without Braden Jones giving them something in some role. I just don't think you can remove him from the equation and him not work. Now, what you have found out is maybe that is not high leverage late game. He was pretty good in the middle of the game against South Carolina. Maybe you're switching to middle relief. Maybe you're trying to get an early bridge out of him. But I don't think you can just start marking off options because on one hand, I think Ole Miss's bullpen is better than it gets credit for being. On the other hand, is I don't think they have done a very good job of finding roles and niches that are consistent, that are just simply in those guys' best practices moving forward. I mean, Connor Spencer can close. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, frankly. He's been banged up, missed a weekend. Braden has been bad lately, inconsistent at times. Had some flashes. Just got to put it together. 27 innings. Um, there's no doubt about that. I was looking, yeah, I'm all over the place this morning. I apologize, but it's just probably going to be one of those shows. Yeah, the Mississippi Braves moved to Columbus, Georgia. They are the Columbus Clingstones now, which apparently is another word for a fruit where the flesh adheres firmly to the pit or stone, so a peach. So they're basically the Columbus peaches, but they're called the Clingstones.
I mean, I,
What?
I'd be the guy in the room that said, "Why don't we just call them peaches?"
Clingstones is kind of more
I
unique.
think
It's unique.
it's that. But when everybody goes, "Well, what is a clingstone?" Do you have to do that all forever?
Yeah, because that word was not in my vocabulary.
No, no, I
The
don't know.
cap insignia is a C with like a peach leaf on top.
A leaf, but not the peach.
Yeah, and then the mascot is like a peach in a pair of baseball pants. So he's topless and just a peach on top. He's got a cap on with like some leaves growing out of his head, and then he's got white pants on.
Okay. I mean, it's minor league baseball. I think you can kind of do whatever you want. I think those appear to be the rules. Like you just go for it, but I don't know. If
Tyler in the
Nashville got a,
thread says we're learning to love the Clingstones here. They're in his hometown of Columbus. I know he was trying to
uh,
get back for the opener the other day.
um, if Nashville gets a major league baseball team, they call it the Sounds, right?
Well, they're already the Sounds in AAA. We're saying they just
So
keep it.
wouldn't you just keep it? I mean, you wouldn't want the Nashville White
Okay, but the
Sox for.
Sounds are probably trademarked by the major league team that occupies them, right? Don't they have to like trade trademarks as minor league teams move?
But don't you think the Milwaukee Brewers would surrender that trademark like
Yeah.
immediately? I mean, come on. That wouldn't be a fight worth fighting. They would look bad if they said, no, we own that. Oh, no. Nope. Even though people associate baseball in Nashville with the Sounds.
Would you keep the same logos and everything?
I would. I think they have a really cool logo.
But their
They're kind of,
current park can't be increased enough to fit a, a major league park, right?
I don't
Don't
know
they
what
have
it holds.
logistical issues with Nashville becoming a major league destination? I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a, I don't, I've not been to the new stadium. I don't know whether there's room to add on to it or whatever. I don't know where they might put it. I don't know. I wouldn't think that would be. I don't think that would be the great impediment. Right now, you have a major league team playing at the Yankee spring training home, and you have a major league team playing in Sacramento at a minor league park. So I think you could pull it off for a period of time until you got done what you wanted. I'll say it again. I don't know why I'm invested in this, but I sort of am because common sense tells me I should be. This makes sense. Nashville should have a major league baseball team. It's a booming area. There are people there all the time.
You don't
It's a,
think they're too close to other places that have one?
I, don't, I think that's ludicrous. I think you'd have natural rivalries. Nashville and Atlanta would be a natural rivalry. Nashville, Cincinnati would be a natural rivalry. I think you should put a team there. Like they talk
And so
about
they built a bunch of condos directly behind the current park. Yeah, I have not seen it.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
originally could have built to add on, but can't now. Tyler also coming in saying they're just calling they just call the Clingstones the Stones. They play a lot of Rolling Stones music in the ballpark and play off that, which helps.
oh, okay, that
I'm
makes
good.
more sense.
That's good.
It's minor league baseball. Do what you want.
Well, no, because I mean, I think I'm right. Like, yeah, they're mentioned in the thread. Maybe my favorite minor league baseball team is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. It's phenomenal all the way around. I mean, it's great. The logo is great. You got a raccoon literally like using a trash can as a rocket ship. It's great. In the same league with the Clingstones. It's both Southern League teams.
There's a brewery, I can't remember where. It may be one of the ones in Northwest Arkansas. It might be Oklahoma. I don't remember. But I bought it when I was there. There's an IPA called the Trash Panda, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So I'm thinking when you say Trash Pandas, I think about the beer.
I mean, you have to take a second here, though, from a creativity standpoint and just good logos and names. I mean, it's the Southern League might be the best league in sports from a logo / names. Birmingham Barons might be the worst one, even though they're kind of the most known in that whole deal for multiple reasons. Chattanooga Lookouts, it's great. Everybody knows the eyes there with the Lookouts. Knoxville Smokies is a great name.
Some people just tweet
for
the
a team.
Chattanooga Lookouts eyes all the time.
Just okay, fair.
They just tweet logo all the time.
It's true. Big fans. Big Southern League fans. Rocket City Trash Pandas. Biloxi Shuckers is a great name and a great logo. It's great. It's fantastic. Down on the coast, right there off the Casino Row in Biloxi. The Clingstones. The Montgomery Biscuits might be one of the top 5 logos in sports. The pat of butter on the biscuit.
Yeah,
there in Montgomery.
Great logo.
And then the Pensacola Blue Wahos. It works. That used to be the Jacksonville Suns. So I don't know how we got here. I'm sorry. It was my fault. I saw we went mud monsters to Clingstones to Southern League. I apologize for the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees situation that just happened there, but I told you my mind is a little scattered this morning. It's okay.
Mine is too. I'm totally distracted this morning because the Karen Reed trial is about to start, and I'm totally into it. I think it's fascinating. So I'm just, and you and I talked about this in the pre-show. We've hit the point of the year where there's still sports, but not really. And so I'm just I'm a little distracted. I'm not distracted. I'm just kind of, I'm spaced out a little bit.
I have a question. I have one more thing on the baseball topic that I'm curious about. I want to get your take on it. We have not really, we've kind of talked about it around it, but we have not asked that particular question. So I got something real quick. I'm going to do that here in 1 second. Yeah, I do think the Suns are AAA now. They just been in the Southern League, but nonetheless, we'll come back quickly. But as Neil said, whether you say data or data, my house we say data, and for the longest time I thought paying a fortune on the monthly data plan was just normal. Found out about Mint Mobile and their premium wireless plans that start at just $15 a month. Say bye-bye to overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data or data, your choice. Unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless in 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. So no matter how you say it, don't overpay it. Shop data plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment $45 for 3 month 5 gigabyte plan required. New customer offer for 3 months. Then full price plan options available. Tax and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products, people, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, those areas, call Southern 662-429-4429. We're brought to you by Window Hero, from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, they've got all of the stuff that you need to make your exterior look amazing. They've got specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions. They clean up to 4 stories. So if you're in North Mississippi and you need your windows, gutters, or everything in between cleaned, get in touch with Window Hero, 662-510-7077 to get an estimate. Learn more at windowhero.com. Oxford locals and Oxford families, and Ole Miss families, I should say, if you need dry cleaning or laundry done right, Lapel's Dry Cleaning has you covered. Proudly serving the Oxford community since 2016, Lapel's takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call them at 662-638-3149 to be added to their pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark Condominiums. Mention Rebel Grove for 50% off your first order. Trust lapels to keep you looking your best. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego Wealth Management, specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan, whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere. Schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. And we're brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a fourth-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and much, much more. At Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler.
Podcast is brought to you by AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available, whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends. They offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. That's up from 1 gigabit. To learn more, register for service, AnySpark.com. AnySpark, get connected, stay local. Yeah, I put a poll up, but I think Burninator has a good point. It's context dependent a little bit, because in reading the Mint Mobile situation, I say both depending on either context or just what comes out of my mouth. I do. I think I say data and data, depending on what I'm talking about, or just the day of the week. I'm not set in that.
I'm not either. I don't even know. I think I say data, but I'm not sure.
Well, once you start thinking about it, you end up going the other way sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to switch it and put a both option, but we'll just live with what's there. It's fine. It's okay. What I was going to say is, if you're the Mud Monsters, or pretty much, how many independent minor league baseball teams at this point do you think are at least contemplating or trying to decide if they can copy the Bananas? Or are the Bananas copyable?
You mean play banana ball and stuff?
Whatever. I mean, just make it Globetrotters for baseball, whatever that means. Copy the Bananas, do something similar. Like, I don't think you can rip them off at this point, where you create a bastardization of their rules, right?
Well, I mean,
but an independent baseball team has a very small ceiling. So how do you break through that ceiling? What do you do?
I guess you would try to copy it, but those guys are really good. I don't know how many people you could find who could do all that stuff.
Former Rebel Zach Phillips at least used to be a banana. I don't know if he still is or not, but he was a banana. Maybe he is a banana.
I don't know.
Burninator says phone is a long A. If you're talking about stats, it's a short A. So he says data if you're talking about a phone situation. But a phone data, as you say, is still talking about stats. It's just phone dependent. The point of an independent team is just simply to try to run a successful business, and it's guys who are not ready to give it up yet, that are not making minor league options.
Yeah.
I mean, no harm, no foul.
To give up baseball, and they have this, and there's just enough guys that have come out of independent leagues and made it back to the majors. There's just enough of that to keep the dream alive. And look, I'll never make fun of anybody who does it. Play as long as you want to play, because there will come a day when you can't play anymore.
If you want to continue to scratch that itch, go scratch it.
Father Time is unbeaten. He gets everybody. So if you want to play, play. The people that judge that stuff, I'm like, the career minor leaguer that plays into the minors into his 30s. Okay. It's his life. That's what he wants to do. And it's always a remarkably cool story when that guy gets called up finally.
I didn't know that. Charlie Culberson used to be a Brave, now plays for the Bananas. Um,
Did you know what no cap meant?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got that one.
I had no idea, and I was honest about it. People push back like, I'm like, hey, I just speak English. I don't know. I just focus on the English part. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know what that meant. Like no cap.
So what was the what was the context? The kid said something on Twitter.
I can't. No, I don't remember. It was about money in the portal. There are a lot of people that don't like. I've learned this. There are a lot of people that really want details of the portal, and there are a lot of people that do not want you to talk about it at all. Do not like dollar figures. I don't even remember who we were talking about. I don't know if it's PJ Haggerty or Chad Baker Mazzara or who, I don't know. But money came up, and the guy said something about no cap, and I said, I have no idea what that means. And he basically said I was lying, and I was like, whatever. I've never understood why you would willingly tell that lie. I mean, I don't care if Chad Baker Mazzara gets $2 or $200 billion to play college basketball next year. Not my money. I mean, not coming out of my pocket. I don't care.
Grind asking, would you send Corso to Texas, Ohio State because the Buckeye was the first headgear he put on, or would you send him to his alma mater, Bama, at Florida State?
Florida State. Florida State. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his condition is. He'd probably be most comfortable at home. Everyone there adores him. He's going to be adored anywhere he goes for that one. Wherever they can get all of his family and the people that mean. I mean, I do hope they take that show and make it completely about him.
Is Florida State going to even be average next year? Are they better? They hired a couple coordinators. Who's their quarterback?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I know they did a ton to try to improve. But didn't they hire like a really young coordinator? Maybe defense? I don't know. One or the other. I'm really interested in the LSU Clemson game opening weekend.
Where's that game?
It's in Death Valley. Oh, sorry, it's in Clemson. Nussmeyer, Klubnik.
If I'm you, I stop doing this.
You stop doing what?
They play these hard games for openers, and they lose them every year.
They always lose them.
I would play McNeese week 1. Get a dub. You're going to play 8 SEC games.
Well, they play La Tech in week 2.
What? Play them in week 1. That's dumb. I would.
Yeah, Malzahn at Florida State. You're right. I forgot that. Three of their first 5 games: Clemson away, Florida at home, Ole Miss away. Wrapped around a couple Louisiana directionals. Week off at South Carolina at home, at Vandy, A&M at home, at Alabama. Close the year at Oklahoma. Not the easiest slate for the Bayou Bengals at all.
No. Sorry, I was sending something to Campbell.
No, you're good.
No, I don't. This is like the whole changing landscape thing. It's so rapidly changing that I've almost stopped trying to keep up in the spring with who's where. I'll just sort of in the summer go, okay, it's time to look at this. Wait for rosters to get set. And I mean, there's a court ruling that could come down that could completely change everything.
They took Boston College's quarterback.
Florida State did?
They did.
Was that the Castellanos guy?
That is correct.
Okay.
Tommy. UCLA and Tennessee just traded. I mean, we should have had cash considerations going from one school to the next in this bad boy. So UCLA ends up with Nico. I still contend for less money than he was going to get in Tennessee.
Apparently.
Madden the brother who was originally committed to UCLA, then went to Arkansas, now back to UCLA, and
Yeah,
then
the third team in the trade, but so far I don't think Arkansas got anything. Maybe they got cash considerations because they're not paying Madden anymore.
did they get a player to be named later?
Well, I guess they just got their money back.
And then Tennessee now is going to hand the job to Joey Aguilar, who was the quarterback at UCLA. That captained the 129th offense in the country last year.
Where did he play last year? App State?
Is that where it was?
I think.
Okay.
So he went from Appalachian State to UCLA for a spring, and now he's at Tennessee. Madden, yeah, did Madden Iamalava play? Did he redshirt last year at Arkansas? Did he at least spend a year there, or did he just spend? He only spent the spring, right?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this system. It's fine. I thank God every morning that thousands of people still find the appeal in it. I can't imagine.
Yeah, if he got his asking price, I saw the message board did this. If Nico got his asking price by going to UCLA, he has to pay $246,000 more in taxes versus where he was.
Look, I mean, I'm not trying to out Tyler's sources here, but he's got really good ones on this. I feel quite confident that Nico's family cost their son a lot of money, not even to mention reputation and all the social media crap that he'll get.
And now you're UCLA where you're dealing with both kids?
Yeah, they're both there, or they will be there. Yeah.
Man, oh man. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's not going to be a circus.
I mean, you go to a school in January and you basically leave in April. I mean, okay.
Let's find the combustible point in UCLA's schedule this season because they're not going to be any good. So let's find the combustible point. They open with Utah.
Okay.
They've got a really easy schedule for the most part. Big Ten still has some dogs in it. It's not every week.
They've won the last two national titles.
They have. But Purdue didn't. Let's see. Utah, by the way, admitted yesterday they had a $6 million NIL last year. That was their number for football.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did not play well last year, right? They lost some games.
No, they were down for them last year. I mean, they've been dealing with that quarterback situation forever because Rising doesn't graduate, but he also stays injured constantly. Utah, UNLV, New Mexico, off date, Northwestern. And get off to a hot start.
Yeah.
At home against Penn State. It's not going to go well. At Michigan State, Maryland, at Indiana, Nebraska, at Ohio State, Washington, at USC.
Oh, it's pretty doable. I mean, if they're worth a damn. I mean, if there
is doable, that's doable. Yes, correct.
If we believe in the football gods, what we will get is a Tennessee UCLA bowl game, and both quarterbacks will opt out. That would be. Chris Lowe said that on Twitter. I give him credit. That would be the absolute chef's kiss. Tennessee UCLA game in a bowl game, and both quarterbacks opt out.
It does feel like we're finally at that season for something that would be maybe not shocking, but would just make the complete mockery of the situation come true.
I mean, I think we're already there. I mean, I really do. I think we're there already. I think my theory that I've been developing over the last few weeks and months is true. I think it's unbreakable. I think it doesn't matter what you throw at it. It's just completely unbreakable. And I thank God for it. You could not do this in professional sports. It would not work. But you can do it at this level. You
The
absolutely.
emotional element is so much higher.
It's so strong. Because I think people like if you live in, I don't know, pick a city, Dallas. You love the Cowboys. You like the Cowboys. You keep up with the Cowboys, but it's not that emotional. And so for whatever reason, though, I mean, you go to A&M, you go to Texas, you go to whatever, there's enough people that leave those places so emotionally attached to it. And I'm not making fun at all. It's just an observation. Not everybody, obviously, but enough that this is just, it's a fabric of people's lives. I mean, people are going to come to Oxford this year and they're going to go to the Grove and they're going to meet up with their families and their friends and they're going to do all the things that they've always done. And maybe they don't have quite the same attachment to the players like they used to because there's not really a Deuce anymore or a Romero or an Eli or a Dexter or whatever, right? But they're still wearing your uniform and it's still the same thing.
Well, here's the thing to that, and you're not wrong. You're exactly right. But I haven't fleshed this out at all. I would love to have been able to think about this statement for 20 minutes before I say it, but it's not really what we do. The period of time that we always compare it to, that was, hey, you knew about the players and you did this and all the money was under the table and it whatever. That was a very short period of time in the essence of college athletics. Like in the 80s and even early 90s, you didn't feel like you knew every player because there weren't enough media out there to let you know every player. You know what I mean? Like I know you had the same player day
Yep.
after day, but we didn't have the internet. You had what people wrote about in the newspaper, and you got to know some people, and you knew the quarterback. But it also, and I'm speaking about an era that I didn't live in. I was born in '83, so I get that. But you just kind of liked your guys in the laundry, and sure, you were frustrated if you went 4-7, but it wasn't the end of the freaking world. What's
Yeah,
happened
it's
now is
true.
we put so much more of a premium on winning, and that is set identities in the same way. I mean, I posted this on the board yesterday. And like I said, I mean, I remember recording this as a kid back in the day, but it was a Billy Brewer show from the Egg Bowl in 1985. And Ole Miss went like 4-6-1. I don't know, something like that. They beat State in Jackson to finish the year. And I, it wasn't that people didn't care, but it didn't put your entire identity on it in the same way. It wasn't, it was just a cool thing you did and you related to it and you watched the sport and you followed it and you just kind of got the positives without such a damn negative. What's happened now is you've lost some
Twitter.
of the positive because you're
Twitter.
worried about all the ancillary crap. But at the same time, the negative has ticked up so much. I mean, I kind of watched it. It wasn't me doing the, hey, white picket fence and awesome thing, but I went, God dang, it was just a simpler time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that was like it was almost like heartwarming in a damn way if you can. I mean, like I don't know. I was like,
Days.
Jesus.
As someone who grew up, I was born in 1970. As someone who grew up in the 80s, I can just tell you it was a simpler time. It was an easier time to be a kid, to just be around than it is today, where everything is on social media. Everything. And that leads to these comparisons. I don't know if you ever do it. Sometimes I'll go find it because I'm amazed by it. Ole Miss beats Kentucky. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Kentucky official X account. We'll tweet final from Lexington, Ole Miss 30, Kentucky 17, whatever. The responses to that are twofold. Kentucky fans going in there going, y'all suck. And there will be tons of Ole Miss fans in there with like jabs. Nobody enjoys it. It's all about, And I mean, nobody is way too strong of a word. It's too,
We're being purposefully hyperbolic to prove a point.
Yeah, but the point's not, hey, cool, my team won. It's no, I got to rub this in your face. And when your
there
team
is
loses,
no darker place than an official account after a loss.
Yeah, that's my point. It
happened in baseball the other day. I'd gone to Ole Miss's Twitter account after one of the Tennessee losses on Friday night, the Dole game. And I went over there to get a picture. I was trying to find something they had tweeted out earlier in the thing. And I looked and I was like, why are they getting ratioed? What is that? Because I saw like 330 responses or something within 5 minutes. And it was nothing but Tennessee fans filling the stream. And I went, whoa, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's my point. It's caustic.
You have to create your own independent like bubble. Just enjoy it yourself. Just get what you need out of it. Just try to.
Oh, I can remember when I was
try to protect yourself.
One of the times that I was talking about quitting Twitter, the people at Rivals were like, "No, you can't. You just can't." And I was like, "Why?" And they goes, "Oh, it has value." I said, "No, it doesn't. There's no value." Like, oh no, we could literally put a number on it. You remember this? Yeah. I mean, they pushed back hard about it. And I was like, no, I think the value is that life would be happier without this.
Stacy is 100% right for a decent portion of fan bases. Wins give a sense of relief and not joy. 100%. You are relieved you didn't lose.
Isn't that fascinating? She's right, 100%. But that's a fascinating thing.
That used to only be the case against like a certain opponent, not your season at large. And some of that comes with increased expectations. You have more relief after a win when you're expected to go 10-2 or need to go 10-2 versus, hey, we just kind of get to Liberty Bowl at 7-5. That'd be cool. Because every game matters more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this past season, Ole Miss just went to the Gator Bowl as a 9-3 team, and the game felt meaningless. And the game felt like a complete just letdown.
It was a bigger deal when they went to the Gator Bowl and got pummeled by Michigan back in 91 or whatever year they did it.
Probably so. Just, things change.
With all due respect to Brian Lee's 50-yard field goal in the game.
Your point's a good one, though.
I caught myself watching Billy Brewer shows for about 45 minutes yesterday. I just kind of want to bathe in this era for a minute.
The only thing I'll say is that in the 80s, both of my parents went to Alabama, had degrees from Alabama. And in the 80s, I was an Alabama fan as a kid growing up. And so I got to see them 4 times a year. But I knew who their players were.
Yeah.
I knew who their players were. I knew who Auburn's players were. There was more continuity even then than there is today. But the continuity.
I agree with these two statements. Drew, from an Ole Miss perspective, yes, it's absolutely due to being better in the last 15 years than the previous 30. So there's more consequential games on your schedule. There's no doubt about that. You're trying to achieve something as a program or a community or whatever you want to call it. And then I think this is correct. And I think it's one of the underlying, and we'll switch to basketball in a second. I think it's one of the underlying things that hasn't gotten enough thought or attention publicly is not only are basketball teams becoming better in the league, and that's creating everybody to be more into it, but unlike football, where every game is, by God, the end of the freaking world, one way or the other, your mom saying it in the stream, that's why basketball is becoming more fun, because if you lose a few, it does not really freaking matter. Basketball is a more relief of a sport when the league as a whole is good, because you're just hanging out and watching some hoops. And it's so different than football, where you're just freaking out for 4 months. It's true. 100%. That plays a very large part in it. I believe that completely as we move forward. So, all right. Podcast brought to you by the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom, located on the Ole Miss campus, and they aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students They bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Steven Skoltedi or Rankin Sherling, freedom at olemiss.edu or independence.olemiss.edu.
We're brought to you by the College Corner. They've got autographed footballs and helmets in stock coming up on Saturday. Is that right? Yeah, Saturday. My dates can there for a second. On Saturday, they got double-decker festival going on in Oxford on about noon to 2:30. Austin Simmons, the Ole Miss quarterback, will be at the store in Oxford, right there in the Oxford Commons off of Sisk, having a meet and greet. So go check him out. Get the latest Ole Miss gear as you get ready for the upcoming football season at the College Corner. Don't forget they've got two locations, in the Jackson area, and then the one in Oxford. And you can also check them out online as well. When you work with Argent Welt's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Get in touch with John if you're thinking about planning a trip that you want to create a lifetime of unique memories. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. That's really important. Let him give you options that you probably won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. And we're brought to you by Parish Brewing Company. They're located in Broussard, Louisiana, with the simple goal of making awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it quite well. We've got Envy, got Dr. Juice, Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA that's fantastic. They've got a couple of limited version double IPAs out right now that are terrific. So check those out wherever you get your beer, whether it's the grocery store, at the bar, restaurant. If they have Parish, give it a shot. You'll be glad you did.
Pockets are brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine for your prescription same time each month. Take care of you, whether you're in Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or G&M in Oxford, 662-236-2222. Luke makes a very good point that while basketball was the exception, yes, the Ole Miss fan base does have a tendency to freak out over baseball games when there are, give or take, 60 in a season. So it's fair. Very fair.
A tendency?
Well, it's true. It's not the wrong word.
Calling World War II a little scrap.
Kerfuffle, if you will.
There was a conflict.
Conflict. Oh, yeah. Mitch Stanford probably isn't getting his due. You're right. 321 in conference play, 1142 OPS, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, and drawn 8 walks, all against SEC pitching. That'll
That's pretty
play.
good. That's pretty good.
Guy that had not really reached his ceiling at all at LSU, got hurt, moved to UNO, Southland Conference Player of the Year. They hit on him, and then Isaac Humphrey is one of the top 10 outfielders nationally defensively. He has really shored up Ole Miss's middle of their outfield defense at this point. So yesterday, New York Post reporting Ole Miss headed to Madison Square Garden to face St. John's December 6th. The date on that is a Saturday.
Yep.
So I'm assuming a Saturday afternoon there at MSG.
Of the SEC championship game.
Okay, there you go. So that is when that is. Now, look, Ole Miss could be in like a 6-seed play-in game for the playoff in football, if depending on how we end up sorting out these playoff spots here in a few months.
Have they not scheduled? Is that not lined up for this year? Did they not said what they're doing?
No, I don't think so. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, leaders of the college football playoff will gather in Las Colinas, Texas this week for their annual spring meetings where they will continue to discuss the playoffs, future format, and how to best determine the national champion in 2026 and 2020 beyond. So does that mean only for next season and not this coming season?
That's the way I've understood it. But look, I mean, in this world, if you're telling me that they've changed it already or they haven't
I thought that
decided,
they were going ahead and trying to potentially change something this year if they could get it accomplished. Because they were still trying to get the automatic qualifier thing changed, or the seeding changed for this year.
it's news to me. But
I'm
I'm
reading
not.
from ESPN. Will the selection committee stay the same for this season? Yes. There's a desire to find a way to modernize it or have a more uniform strength schedule metric. Blah 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 blah. Will the seeding system change for this fall? Only if everyone unanimously agrees to it. Multiple sources have indicated everyone in the room is in favor, but not everyone is ready to vote in favor. Some want to tie this season into the future discussions, possibly as leverage. So if you're changing anything right now, it has to be unanimous. So there's no way they're going to get some huge change going for this season.
So this year will still be 1 versus 2 in the SEC championship game.
There's a self-imposed deadline of this summer for all these answers, according to sources, and a mid-June meeting in Asheville, North Carolina appears to be an opportune time to make the final call. The reality is that nobody wants to be dealing with this when the season starts, and they need time to implement any changes. This will be the 4th in-person meeting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think so. Looks like it. Best I can tell. Also, you can add, we've had New Orleans, and we've had wherever else they're meeting. Now they are adding Las Colinas and Asheville to the list of where they're getting together for these conventions and conferences and meetings.
Damnedest thing, they never do it in Topeka. Nope. Nope.
Greg Sankey did tweet he was flying Southwest the other day.
Yeah.
He was in the exit row.
He always gets that exit row with the long in front of him. Yeah.
Well, how does he make sure he gets that? I mean, there's a boarding process. There's groups and things. I don't understand.
I haven't flown Southwest in a while. I've got a couple of credits where I need to actually fly Southwest.
There is a lot of tea leaves. That's where we're headed here, by the way, for a 1 versus 2 automatic entry and then a 3-6, 4-5 play in for the SEC.
I don't know. I mean, it would work. It would be fine.
What's your issue?
I don't really have one. I mean, this is not I don't have a strong sentiment here, so don't do the old man yelling at clouds. This is not it. I have some things that I could get that way about. This is not one. But I do kind of hate to see winning a conference championship minimized. That's all. There's a certain, I've covered that game a lot. It's a cool game. I mean, it's neat. You win the SEC. There's an accomplishment. I've written stories about the teams that just did it, and it was an accomplishment. It would be like if you started making high school sports more national and winning the state title didn't mean anything because you had to go to the regional tournament or something.
Well, I mean, on a very short, lower scale, it's one of the reasons why a lot of states don't do the Grand Slam in basketball anymore, where all the state champions then go play each other because schools kind of wanted to just win their last game in the classification and not compare themselves to the other size schools in the state.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not a big thing, whatever. I mean, I see the appeal of 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 and everybody gets in. I get it.
Everybody gets in.
But is what's going to happen is 3. If the 3 lost, they might get in anyway. Or do you make
Well,
it automatic?
what's actually interesting is that the conferences are going to get to choose how they want to put their automatic qualifiers in, however they want. And there's a lot of talk of doing it simply by conference record versus college football playoff rankings and things, because they think that might be the one way to save non-conference marquee games. So in a heightened scenario that's probably hyperbolic, but I'm just kind of making it up as I go here. Ohio State says, okay, we're going to go play Texas and Ole Miss and Georgia in the non-league and get all the money from these huge games. And we go 9-3. Probably not lose them all, but you get the point. But they go 9-0 in the Big Ten. They still get the number one seed out of the Big Ten into the playoff.
Yeah.
So you're making non-conference games inconsequential from a standing standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That's the thought.
yeah.
Nothing's perfect, guys.
No. If you make those games non-consequential, then why should fans care about them?
It's fair.
And if they don't care about them, then why should they attend them?
The Mercury News, John Wilner, who does a good job covering national college football, he says he offers a solution to football's competition calendar, starting with, and this is coming, this is just period coming no matter what, eliminating the month-long spring practice sessions entirely. Instead, the NCAA would follow the NFL model, conduct a series of organized team activities, otherwise known as OTAs for everybody else, which are essentially practices without contact. You hold multi-day OTAs in March and April with the flexibility to have joint practices against opposing teams. Give the players a complete break in May, then a week-long OTA in June with partial contact that would prepare the players physically for the next stage in the calendar overhaul. Start training camp in late July instead of August. Cut the duration from 4 weeks to 3. By doing so, the regular season could start on what is now week 0, and conference championships could be held in late November. However, Wilner acknowledges that wouldn't create enough space to roll the national title back to January 1. Either a second week must be cut or the postseason schedule needs to be condensed. Last season, the CFP spanned 32 days, God, from December 20th to January 20th. It's tricky, and there's far better chance the sport is unable to move the title game all the way back to the first, but even the second week in January would be preferable to finishing in the second half of the month. The NFL is expected to eventually expand the regular season to 18 games, which would create more ratings competition and fewer broadcast windows for the current version of the CFP. Far better to avoid the gorilla than stand in its way. So that's a trial balloon. They are trying to get it moved back because they do not want to create a scenario where they're just head up on week 18 in the NFL schedule throughout the process. So, what?
I don't know. I thought it was a week too long this year.
There was too much gap.
But some of that was because it was new, and new always feels different. I mean, they played some games on New Year's Day. Ole Miss played on the 2nd. I know. I can't remember even at this point. The Sugar Bowl got moved because of the terrorist attack.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember what all got played when. I know there were a couple of playoff games on the 1st. They went really well. It doesn't matter. You can play it whenever you want to play. People are going to watch. The ratings were skyrocketing. No, you don't want to go head to head against the NFL. That's not a solid strategy.
It's not the recipe for success.
But they were able to avoid that for the most part.
They were. I got sidetracked a second ago. St. John's, they return a couple players from this past team, a team that only lost 5 games the entire year before getting upset in the NCAA tournament. What?
I'm laughing at we're talking about a basketball game and we have no idea who's on either team. I mean, it's crazy.
No, I do. I know Jason Sanan, who had 11.9 points per game at Arizona State. He's going to play for St. John's. Yep. Bryce Hopkins, who had 15.5 at Providence last year. He's going to play at St. John's. No, sorry, he had 15.5 at Providence 2 years ago. I apologize. So I'm sure that translates. Let's see. They got Zuby
they got
Ejiofor back.
Ian Jackson, the point guard from North Carolina. He's going there.
Is he? He's not on this list. Okay.
Yeah, I think he
They lost
yes.
Kadari Richmond, R.J. Luis Jr., and Aaron Scott. They are ranked 15th in the ESPN way too early top 25 for next season. Write it in blood, guys. Red Storm, top 4 seed.
That's my point. So if I were to tell you, hey man, the Saints open the season on September the 8th at Green Bay, and then I said, hey, who do the Saints have? And you're like, I don't know. They're still kind of putting that together. They don't really have anybody yet. It's senseless. I don't know. I gotta let it go. Just embrace it.
Ole Miss has 5 players right now.
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
That's all you need.
I mean, that's you could get away with it. Yeah,
I just need 5 and a ball.
Need 5.
I am excited about a Chris Beard, Rick Pitino game.
Well, I do think it speaks to a couple of things. The fact that they're able to get this scheduled speaks to Chris's gravity, and it also speaks to the program having more respect now. People, I mean, a lot of people would love to go to MSG and play. So St. John's has the ability to be picky, and for them to schedule a game with Ole Miss on a Saturday in December speaks volumes about where Chris has taken the program from I think gravity is the right word, standpoint. St. John's looks at that and goes, hey, this is going to be good for our net. This is going to be this is going to look good on our resume one way or the other. We're either going to have a win over an SEC team or we'll have a loss that doesn't hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know that Ole Miss would have been able to get this game.
No.
At any point in the past when I've covered it. I can't do the history stuff, but
Ole Miss has spent a generation being in that middle tier of not good enough to help me, but good enough to potentially beat me and hurt me.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to play you.
Nobody wanted to play you, but now they just got through playing a season where they were a 6 seed? Yeah. You were a 6 seed. You had a top 30 net pretty much the whole year. Had some quality wins. Didn't have any bad losses at all. So if you're
in a gorilla of a league, it's going to help you out.
Yeah, you're in a league where the whole damn league basically made the tournament. And so if you're St. John's, you look at that and go, there's not a lot of risk here. And there will probably be a lot of Ole Miss people that make the trip.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I've only covered one game in MSG, but it was cool. I mean, that place, one of the few arenas really that when you walk into it, it feels like it has a heartbeat of its own. That it felt that way. And I was there for a stupid NIT game. I mean, I would love, it's like on my bucket list of things I'd like to go do is like go to a Knicks playoff game like that. Not talking NBA, I swear to God, promise. But the game last night against Detroit, that place had a feeling to it. End of NBA discussion. Apologize.
For a minute. Let's see.
I'm not talking about it. You can talk about it. I'm not going there.
Fox has the game, by the way.
Fox has
game on Fox. Yeah.
Oh, the St. John's.
Yeah. St. John's Ole Miss will be on Fox.
I mean, it's a big statement about how he and the program are viewed currently. It is that is undebatable.
Yeah. We'll take our final break, tell you about Citizens Bank. That's an account number, but a valued member of the community, and now they can help you out. Go stop by, visit 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E, discuss your options with any of your experienced bankers who value your unique financial journey. Make every moment uniquely yours. Success is the top priority, and while you're there, be sure to ask about School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount for every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com.
We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Co. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calorie, gluten-free, One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant. With hemp derived from THC CBD extracts, it's for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly. The mailbag tomorrow at rebelgrove.com. It is presented by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at Arthur, ARTHUR .Hayes, HAYS at lakesmn.com.
Yeah, somebody asking, Saints media going really strong on Dart and really anti-Shedeur Sanders right now. Jeff Duncan coming out and saying the one thing he is sure about with the draft is the Saints are not taking Sanders at 9. What all that means, I don't know. I haven't really asked people that I know who are fairly close to that organization. But yes, that has been the pretty strong scuttlebutt the last 36 hours or so.
Cleveland is hoping to go quarterback with its first pick of the second round. And I don't know that what I heard yesterday was that it is believed that they prefer Dart to Jalen Milroe. And I guess the question will be, do they prefer Dart? Do they like Milroe enough to roll the dice that Dart will fall to them? Or do they are they one of the teams that gets active and moves up? And they don't know. Apparently, in NFL circles, I talked to a couple of NFL people yesterday, and they both said this same thing. In NFL circles, Pittsburgh is kind of a wild card this year because some people think Pittsburgh will go quarterback, and others are convinced that Pittsburgh will not go quarterback this year. And then New Orleans is a wild card at 9. No one really knows what New Orleans will do. Most believe that Dart at 9 is a pretty big reach, but that there's a fear in New Orleans, apparently, if they decided to go quarterback, that if you traded down, which, as you know, is something Loomis has never done, that if you traded down, you could trade down so far that someone would jump you and take him.
Mm-hmm. Mel Kiper came out with his last big board this morning, which, again, this is not taking into account need. This is not a mock draft. This is just simply best available regardless of position. He had Dart at 28 and had Milroe down at 64 on his big board this morning.
Yeah.
He actually had Tyler Show or whatever from Louisville at 46.
Shock.
Okay.
It is shock, I learned yesterday.
Really? Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talked to someone yesterday, NFL circles, who does believe that Cincinnati will go Nolan 17.
Okay.
If you're Jackson, would you rather go to New Orleans or Cleveland?
Oh, God. New Orleans. But we've kind of heard this throughout, and people get pissed off because they have, like, their guys. But I saw Schefter this morning in his story. At least one team does not have a first-round grade on any of the quarterbacks in this draft.
Yep.
GM of another team said there are, quote, no surefire quarterback solutions, and Cam Ward would be the 7th-rated quarterback in last year's class. So you're going to go number 1 overall to save the franchise. Good luck there.
I'm being repetitive. I said this yesterday. You have to make these decisions. You have to have conviction with your people. You have to believe that your people have done a great job of evaluating, and you have to completely block out the noise.
Yeah.
And if you're taking Cam Ward 1-1, you have to do it for one reason and one reason only. It's because your people believe he is a franchise quarterback. Period. Can't be because, well, outside noise said nope. And if you don't believe it, you should not take him. But that's the mistake in NFL circles. It's wild to watch it happen. It's peer pressure, and it's real. There's so much pressure to take a quarterback one that they take a quarterback even when they internally go, we don't have him ranked this high.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you take a quarterback, if you don't take a quarterback or you don't take the right quarterback and somebody else does, you don't ever live it down. We don't do that with linebacker play, but we do it with quarterbacks. Think about it. Who was the kid from Georgia last year, a couple of years ago, that got in trouble and his draft stock fell? Plays for the Eagles now.
Oh, Jalen Carter.
Yeah. No one really questions the teams that passed on Jalen Carter.
No.
Even he's an absolute impact of a player. Teams passed on Laramie Tunsil because of some marijuana use, and nobody really paid a price for that. A few teams got ridiculed a little bit, mostly by us. But Patrick Mahomes, you never live it down.
Mm-hmm. It's true. One pick away, Saints would have taken Mahomes. My life would be different.
My life would be different.
Sound like a college football fan, don't I, Neil?
You do.
I do. Yeah, last thing there, somebody makes a good point. That 85 team, the Ole Miss team that the Billy Brewer show was showcasing from the Egg Bowl yesterday, or I posted on the board, not yesterday. 2 games in Oxford, 4 games in Jackson, home games for that team. Different world.
Wow.
Yeah. A little different situation.
Yeah, I just didn't like, as a kid in the 80s, I just didn't know much about Ole Miss because you never really saw them.
Yeah, like their schedule that year: Liberty Bowl, Veterans Memorial, Vaught Hemingway, Louisiana Superdome, Jordan-Hare, Veterans Memorial, Vaught Hemingway, Veterans Memorial, Notre Dame, Neyland, Veterans Memorial.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. It's true. So
different world, different day.
Yeah. All right, we will wrap there today. Appreciate you guys, everybody in the stream as always. Again, Governor's Cup 6 o'clock tonight from Pearl. It is streaming, so you can catch the Rebels and the Bulldogs from that one, RPI, and win opportunity for Ole Miss. Again, coverage rebelgrove.com and whatever else comes your way. Back tomorrow and plenty more on MPW Digital. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.